breaking news into the Fanfare newsfeed.
Well, we begin with a look at what some are calling the Trump effect. Yeah, it's already happening. It appears to be unfolding in the wake of his landslide victory and just 6 days out. Well, within 72 hours, that short little window of becoming president-elect, look at all that's happened. Trump appointed the first female White House chief of staff in U.S. history, the Party of Women. And here's a live look at the Dow as it hits a new record high along with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. That's right, economic gains. And then the latest migrant caravan that was heading towards our border shrunk by half. Reuters is specifically citing Trump as the reason many of these migrants turned around. New York City announced it would stop giving free debit cards to migrants. That happened too. And yet, looking abroad, Hamas says it wants an immediate end to its war with Israel. How about that for timing? And Trump has already spoken to Ukrainian President Zelensky, and Russia says it's ready to talk with the president-elect about the war. The European Union, meanwhile, is considering replacing Russian oil with oil exported from right here in the USA. And listen to this, the Taliban wants to start a, quote, new chapter with the U.S. Maybe they remember when Trump called their leader, sent him a satellite picture of his home, and said, I will annihilate you unless you protect American troops abroad. Maybe they remember that. And even China announced its hopes for a peaceful coexistence with the U.S. So much for invading Taiwan. I thought that was coming. All that in 72 hours, and Trump will still be president-elect for another 70 days. Look, Harris, it really is remarkable what not even being president will do. Reuters said this, and this is a Wire publication. A caravan of thousands of migrants traveling through Mexico with the hopes of reaching the U.S. had shrunk to about half its original size as many migrants grapple with their prospects following Trump's victory.
Well, considering that so many of them have to go through Mexico, I think Mexico is doing some grappling with tariffs. Yeah. I mean, that's what this president has done before, and that's what he's willing to do again, and that's to put pressure on Mexico. So I think there are a lot of people rethinking south of the border right now. I mean, if you're a caravan and you're driven by all the things that the cartels, all the lies that the cartels are telling you, now America has sent the message that, yeah, believe our votes before you believe the cartel.
Good afternoon as you're watching this. If you're watching it live, it is Monday afternoon. It seems like already we've gone through a week of news. It is only 3 o'clock on Monday, and it's almost as like the news just doesn't stop. Trump is putting so much pressure on everything to get this thing ready to turn around. It's just a cornucopia of news. I told you guys Friday, I'm like, we have to do this on Saturday, gonna have to do it on Sunday, because otherwise it would be a 4-hour show. We wouldn't stop. So today, Monday morning, the breaking news starts again. And it's voluminous at this point. I mean, there's so much to go over in a short period of time. So I'm happy you're here. Maybe you've heard some of the news. If you haven't, you're gonna hear it here first. But wow, Trump is wasting no time whatsoever. So Harris Faulkner, after Kayleigh McEnany, went through a litany of things that's already happened. Already happened. These leaders are falling in line. They're asking, hey, what do you want to do? Can we buy your stuff? Hey, don't hit us with tariffs. Just let us know what we need to do. We're gonna let the Democrats wallow in their postmortem. Let them just go ahead and run around like hogs and slop at this point, because they got nothing. It's not even worth covering them at this point. They're still trying to figure out, hey, you mean Americans didn't like this DEI, and Americans didn't like us talking about transformers and pronouns? And no, we didn't. And you're done. You're done. Unless you do a reverse, which I don't know who you even have on your bench. And at this point, I don't care. We're going with the Trump administration. We're going to run with it. So as Harris mentioned, she said not only are some people, as we've seen, self-deporting, you got this big caravan that was headed up the border, and they're like, crap. Too late, huh? Too late. Whew. Turn around. Turn around now. And those of you who are continuing north, you might want to watch out, because Trump has decided to actually sick a pit bull all over you. All over you people who are, how do I say, not supposed to be here. You know, yesterday's video, I played a video of Trump himself, of Trump talking about what he wanted to do with the newcomers. And believe it or not, the people upstairs made me delete it. I had to go in and cut out Trump talking about what he's going to do. The man just got elected president. And they're like, no, you can't talk about the newcomers that way. And then here again, first thing out the door, he's back on it. So this is probably going to have to cut this. So consider yourselves lucky because you get to hear it. Well, other people, I might end up having to cut it because it hurts their fee-fees. Their feelings. They're in touch with, a little tender nipplage. I can't believe it. This guy is a president or soon to be president of the United States, and people are not allowed to even hear what he's doing. Believe that. I'm telling you right now, believe it. They don't want people hearing what Trump is saying. He just got elected in a landslide. He has a mandate, and certain networks don't say what he's going to do. All right, you end up being surprised. I don't know who's upset or offended, but the ones that are offended didn't win. Why are you still putting the onerous censorship on the people when it's coming out the mouth of the president? Or president-elect, let me be proper. But he went and just got himself a pit bull. He just said, you know what? I got this pit bull. And I'm going to, here he is right here, and I'm about to set him loose. And his name is Tom Homan. And you've heard Tom Homan talk in the past. And Trump is out there just, man, he is letting people know in no uncertain terms, here you go. Here's what's coming. Go for it. So let's listen to a little bit of who Tom Homan really is if you haven't had the chance to consume some of his goodness and what these people, these newcomers, are going to have to look forward to.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
She's about to get shocked. I'm just telling you, honey. If you guys have tender fee-fees, don't watch the rest of this.
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Ouch. That's what the Democrats and that's what the newcomers have to look forward to. And people are like, can you really do it? Can you really spend this much money? And I'm like, well, what's the difference? How are you pricing American lives? And notice, she didn't have any comeback to that. That is something that is completely indefensible. Excuse me. You can't come back against that. What's the cost that you want to put on what these people are doing? You got me on that one, bro. Yeah, she got you on that one. Let's listen to more of what Mr. Homan has to say.
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE because, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should be working with law enforcement. But, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, but we're going to do it. So
we're going to do it. So all the posturing that J.B. Prickster up in Illinois, and I think her last name is Healy in Massachusetts, and Hochul in New York, and of course Newsom out in California, what they don't understand, and maybe they need a refresher on government, but the border and immigration is 100% in the purview of the President of the United States, not your local government. You can go ahead and sue all you want. It's not going to matter. At this point, It's all in the hands of the president. Biden could have stopped it at any time. He chose not to. He just chose to let it go. Whoever was telling him, let it go. And now blame him for all these people being put in peril. Don't blame Trump. Trump's coming in with the broom. He's coming, okay, I got to clean this up. A spill on aisle 4 that you guys caused. You ignored enforcing the law. And now what do you expect? Just to let it go? Well, there's no way he's going to round up 11 or 15. All right, so you can start. There's no reason you can't start and begin. And then when people see it, what do you think the effect is going to be? How do you think it's going to, how they're going to react when they see people start getting, put in the paddy wagon and one-way flights? Instead of flights in, they're going out. How do you think people are going to react? Well, more than likely, they're going to head to Taco Bell. I'm not Taco Bell. I'll just use the slogan, head for the border. They're going to self-deport. They don't have any options at this point.
Well, if we can't get assistance from New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety, threats of human and national.
Think about that. We're going to do it either with you or without you. You went and hired 87,000 IRS agents. Well, Trump may hire 87,000 border agents. And all these IRS agents have now been, bye, furlough, go away. Or your office is in, Western Alaska. You take your choice. But you're not going to be doing what you're doing. And I don't think they realize at this point, Trump has probably given this guy pretty much carte blanche. He has probably said to him, do what you need to do.
Security threat. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in the jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you're going to release these bad guys, out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, and bottom line is, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And the left keeps saying, well, we want victims and witnesses of a crime to feel safe, come to the police department knowing we don't work for life. Let me make one thing clear. That's just a stone cold lie. Victims and witnesses of a crime does not want the bad guy back in their neighborhood.
That's true.
Yeah. Certainly. And most illegal.
It's going to be epic. You're going to see something many people haven't seen in their lifetimes. And I'm sure there's going to be an incentive given to certain officers of certain departments to basically finger the guys and say, they're over there. And there's a whole bunch over there. And there's a whole bunch over there. They're really not going to be hard to find. I mean, I think everyone keeps saying, well, how can he possibly do it? They're not asking the right question. When you keep saying to different people on television, well, how can he possibly do it? What we want to see is the effort made. Let's say he only does, 300,000 in the first year. But he also stops anymore. And they just keep going. So you're asking the wrong question. How can he do 1.5? They may not have the manpower yet. It may be something that needs to grow. But eventually, and what you're going to see is it begin. Nothing got done overnight. You didn't bring in 20 million, 15 million, 11 million overnight. You brought them in stages. Well, as long as we see them going out in stages, I think people are going to say, that's a win. So stop looking at this big number going, how are you going to deport 1.5 million people a year and blah, blah, blah. One bite at the apple at a time. That's how you do it. That's the answer to that question. There's no bus that's going to fit 1.5 million. But there are a lot of buses and airplanes that can fit, 100, 200, 300, 400. Maybe get 10 buses, maybe get 50 buses, maybe get a C-130. And then you start that way. They don't even want Trump to start. These people here don't want Trump to start. And I'm telling you, once people start seeing people in handcuffs and foot irons heading to the border and not Taco Bell, it is going to have an effect. Nobody wants to live their entire life, which is what these people haven't had to do. Nobody wants to be living looking over their shoulder. See, right now they're doing what they want. They don't worry about it, and there's nobody. They know nobody is looking for them. Nobody has thought or asked any one of these guys on television, hey, listen, what's going to happen just with the fact that they know they're wanted? That people are looking for them. And that psyche that is going to happen with people who know that they're being, for lack of a better word, hunted. How do you think they're going to react? Should I go to the store? Should I not go to the store? Should I do this? Should I not do that? Should I venture out here? Is there somebody out there? That's no way to live. And nobody wants to talk about the psychological implications of knowing you're wanted. I don't care what country you come from. If you went vacation, if you went on vacation and you went to Spain and you found out, you know what, the Spanish police are looking for you. How are you going to enjoy yourself? You're going to be looking around it's not going to happen. You're like, I want to go home. Let me get out of here. Let me find a way to get out of here. Let me find a way to get out of here quickly. And then I heard something else today, which I thought was amazing, is they're thinking about floating something, which I think is amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. If you leave on your own, we'll give you the opportunity to come back through the front door. You just have to go through the process. However, if we have to escort you, you are permanently banned. So if I was one of these people, I would take option A. Let me just go ahead and leave. Let me tell them I want to work with you. What do I need to do? We need your name, we need your information, and we'll put you on a list to come through, legally. So, Fred Smith, go ahead. We'll let you go. We'll even help you go. We'll even help everyone else around you go. And then when it's time to reopen, we'll go ahead and put you on a list and we'll vet you and we'll look and see, are you worthy coming in? And it'll count something towards you that you were voluntarily left and that you decided to go through the process. I think that would be a huge incentive. Okay, yeah, for now I have to leave. Yeah, I'm not promising that you get back in, but if you leave on your own, you have a chance. If we have to remove you, you are permanently exiled. So I'm thinking people would be like, okay, let me take that option A. I don't want to go in a prison. I'll get my travel back somehow. I won't be walking around like a criminal in foot irons and handcuffs. They're just gonna, escort me out. Maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way to go. I mean, I would think that would be the way to go. Let's listen to what Tom has to say.
The immigrant community, they broke the law being there. They shouldn't be. However, after being there, they're God-fearing family people. I get it. Do they want a sexual predator in their neighborhood? Do they want someone convicted of DUI 10 times in their neighborhood? Let us protect not only the American communities, let us protect the immigrant community. Who's a victim of MS-13 crime? Yeah. The immigrant community. Yeah. So, if sanctuary cities don't want to help us, to get the hell out of the way, because we're coming.
3 different options presented. The third included the option.
So let me show you how much of a pit bull this guy really is. Watch what he does in a couple of the appearances that he's made in Congress. AOC, you're way out of your league. Way out of your league.
For family separation. This initiative would pursue prosecution of all amenable adults, including those presenting with a family unit. Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy?
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo?
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Oh, bear trap just shut right on her neck. Bam, bear trap just shut on AOC. So you recommended that people get separated, right? And his answer there, none of them even thought about it. It's the same as any U.S. citizen. Let him explain.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged.
Oh, she's going to step in it again. He's going to school her big time. Legal asylees are not. You sure about that, dear? Okay.
Charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
I want to add
Okay. She is an actress. They give her lines to say, and when she meets an adversary who knows more than she does, she's totally lost. No, you're not an asylee by coming through and committing a crime. You're only an asylum seeker if you go through the right channels. Breaking in doesn't make you an asylum seeker. It's like the left doesn't even know the laws of this country. They continue to just say the same stuff until they're confronted straight on with a man like Tom Homan, who actually knows the law and can quote the law, including the actual citation, and then all she can say is, "Oh, well, yeah, next. Anybody else want to talk to this guy? Because not me."
One more thing. You talk about the child sex crimes. Under Kamala Harris, we'd have over 500,000.
Okay, so you're going to hear some silence. I mean, momentary as he's talking, because certain words I had to censor out because you know why.
Children have been smuggled into the United States, separated from their families, smuggled by criminal cartels, and released in the United States. That's your failure as a Border Czar. And let me add this. They've released these people to so-called sponsors. They don't vet properly. Now they can't find 148,000 children or their sponsors.
Now, that's obviously a number that's way off at this point. Even Trump has been saying 325, and that's got to be way off at this point. Bottom line is, I don't think anybody knows. It may be 500,000. Nobody really has the number. They just know it's been incredible how many kids and women, and probably little boys as well, have been completely lost coming across this open border.
And I guarantee you, based on my 3.5 decades of investigative experience, these children are in forced labor or they're in forced trade, and they're living a life of hell. This administration, what they've done on the border is disgusting.
You want to know I have these issues?
I have a daughter, I have grandkids. You probably have kids and grandkids as well. And I can't imagine what it would feel like to know that these cartels took your child. Or even worse, you sold your child. You figured, I need to get over there so I don't have anything of value. Here's little Susie. I don't know what kind of mentality, or they said, we're going to take little Susie and you can go. These people are the dredges of the world. The light that needs to be exposed on these people needs to be like the sun. These cockroaches that have hurt innocent kids, they are the worst, the absolute worst. And what's maybe worse than them is just the thought that our government cooperated with it. We don't know what has happened. Maybe that's why the Democrats are freaking out the way they're freaking out. We keep talking about the Puff Daddy parties and the other guy on the island and everything else, but none of us really knows. They've hidden everything. And I think if Trump does what he's been talking about, even what Tucker Carlson has said, I think we're going to hear things that we are going to be astounded by. But we deserve to hear that. We deserve to know which one of these scumbags has been involved in this stuff and how many of them. That's why I think they wanted to put this man in jail. This is why I think they tried to take him out. It's not about politics so much as it is exposure. And now with RFK Jr. as a part of that, wow, can you even imagine? Can you imagine the most sordid secrets that are there about our government? I heard this morning from a post that Bill Gates' former wife, she's considering coming out and talking about his fun over in that island because she's afraid of being implicated. I think that's going to happen a lot. I think some people are going to start turning state's evidence and screaming and being stool pigeons to save their own asses. If I were Trump, I would say no deals. No deals. If you knew something was happening to children and you didn't speak up, I don't want to cut a deal with you. You're done. You're going too. Don't tell me you were, afraid of the government. Don't tell me you were afraid of Bill Gates or this person or that person. If you knew what was going on with children and you didn't speak up, no deals. I mean, I hope that's what he does. Let's continue with Tom as he's about to embarrass yet another congresswoman.
You have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair.
No, I don't respect you. I don't respect what you have done to this country. And I love what Homan's about to do here.
The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get to go beyond his time.
You take your hammer and stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
I love it. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me. You don't shut me up. I pay your bills. I pay your salary. That's the kind of people we need in government. That is the kind of man I am so happy Trump has brought on and said, do what you got to do, bro. Don't take any shit from these people. Get it done. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's continue.
I got a message. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal, I got a message to the millions of illegal that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of...
And by the way, that wasn't something wrong with the tape. That was me bleeping out certain words for the newcomers that they don't want me to use.
Federal law, you better start packing now.
This was at the RNC convention, so obviously Trump knew where he was going. He knew once I got elected, this guy's coming. I'm going to set this guy loose and show you what a real border czar can do. Oh, by the way, do you know why he's a border czar and not like Department of Homeland Security Secretary? Any of you guys know? I can look in the comments, but I'm just going to tell you. Because as a border czar, he doesn't need to be confirmed. See, that's a big thing. He doesn't have to go through any hearings and all this crap. I can just name you a czar and set you loose. And you'll work under or in conjunction with the Homeland Security person, whoever that's going to be. But right now, you can start going, bro. Start putting your plan together. You don't need to be confirmed. That is absolutely huge. He can hit the ground running on January 20th. Everyone else may have to go through hearings, and they may have to figure out who the Senate's, you've seen the dog and pony show. Not this guy. This guy can start day one. That's the big difference between being a border czar and a secretary of whatever. And watch what happens. Trump will name certain people czars and certain people, secretary of or whatever in that regard. By being a czar, you don't have to get approved. So keep that in the back of your mind. January 20th comes, this man goes to work.
You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Why do we have that in government for the last 4 years? You explain to me why we don't have a kick-ass, take-no-prisoner attitude in our current government. Why is everything about people's feelings? I'm offended. Use my pronouns. Don't dead name me. This are the adults coming back. Live your life the way you want to live your life. Step out of line, you're going to get smacked. And I love that kind of talk. You're done. You're done. Sending a warning to these people. You guys down in Mexico who have been doing all this stuff, and whoever else in America that's been facilitating, because they can't do it alone, they're going to find out. I'm telling you, just brace yourself. You're going to find out there's some high-level people in America who've been working in conjunction with these cartels. Prepare yourself for that. That is going to basically blow the lid off of things. When they find out XYZ politician is getting paid by some of these cartels. That may be one of the reasons why they don't want people talking about it. That may be why they've been suppressing information. And now you got this guy Trump coming in, and he's sicking this pit bull on all of it. He's going to have the full force and power and all the resources of the United States government, which the formidable power that this man will have to shut things down. You're going to see so many things change on the southern border and on the northern border. First order of business, put together the strike force that's going to go out and start doing what they got to do. Simultaneously with that, let's go after these guys and tell us what you need. You need rockets, you need more weapons, you need this, you need that. Shut them down. There's this Mexican cartel thing, or whoever they are, Colombian, I don't care where they are. Your job, Tom Homan, is find them, root them out like rats, and exterminate them. I don't know if they're going to like that. But that's what he's saying. That's exactly what he was saying there.
Now, the former head of ICE, Tom Homan, has just been picked as Border Czar for the upcoming administration. Look, Donald Trump...
The ladies of the View don't like it too much. Oh, my God. You know what? I don't care. Cry. Your tears are delicious at this point. We love it. Just give us more of the liberal tears about all of this. Now, understand, I said this... probably a couple weeks ago. Don't make no mistake about it. The ladies on The View love this. They love speaking to the idiots in the room. Because now for the next 4 years, I'm sure ABC has said, let's go ahead and renew their contract. Because they can feign all of the, offense that they want and the nuts will keep watching, and then of course the advertisers will keep paying their money. So the next 4 years, and Rush Limbaugh used to point this out over and over and over, doesn't matter who wins. If you're good and you have an audience, they're going to continue to watch because they need agony. Misery loves company. Misery will keep watching The View. Watch their numbers. If you're inclined to do that, watch their ratings. Check them out like 6 months ago. Check them out now, and then check them out after Trump gets in. They will be complaining about Trump every single day. It will get old. They will just keep complaining about it. These people here will probably get raises in their salaries and never tell the people watching them that, yeah, Trump's made us a whole lot of money. Oh, Trump reduced taxes. I don't got to pay. Ooh, I'm killing it. Oh, I'm buying property and I don't have to pay capital gains. But you'll pretend as though you're mad at Trump. You'll pretend as though everything is bad. Meanwhile, you're cashing in. See, the liberals don't understand the phoniness of everything in their party. All of the people who lead their party, including Nancy Pelosi, Clinton, the Obamas, they all have made tens of millions of dollars. If you think for an instant that each one of them is not using conservative principles to shield their wealth, you don't know the game. There is no way that Nancy Pelosi wants to pay X, Y, and Z taxes. There's absolutely no way that Bill and Hillary Clinton are not using every single tax hole, loop, shield they possibly can to keep as much as their wealth. Definitely the Obamas. But for some reason, their followings are brain dead. Absolutely brain dead. Imagine this. Imagine thinking rich people are bad. Ugh. And then tuning into, I don't know, CNN and seeing Anderson Cooper up there making $20 million a year. Or, maybe changing the channel and looking at Nora O'Donnell on CBS, and she's probably making $8 or $10 million a year. Or turning on MSNBC and seeing Rachel Maddow making $25 or $30 million a year. Imagine that and thinking rich people are bad. Imagine thinking they're looking out for your best interest. What kind of a moron would you have to be? I guess that's what they call Democrats. Democrats have no brains. It is easy to see when you put it in that perspective. Every one of these people, LeBron James, billionaire. Taylor Swift, nearly a billionaire. Robert De Niro, he's probably close to $500 million. Every single one of them. Beyonce, gazillions. Cardi B, millions. George Clooney, do I need to go on? Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi. Every single one of them are multi-millionaires or billionaires, but you think they're for the people. You're a frickin' moron. You're an absolute moron. You have no clue. You think Bruce is still talking about, the union guy got shut down and he's trying to find a job in Gloria and Marie. Get the F out of here. That album, The River, sold like 20 million copies. He made like 200 million on it talking about poor people. I was in the concert business. I knew what these guys were getting paid. Oh, by the way, don't you dare use their music on YouTube. Oh, we're going to have to slap you because your small little channel used some music you weren't supposed to, and that's mine. I need to get paid. But they show up for, the Democrat causes and try to talk about the man. The man's bad. When they're the man. Oprah, you are the man. You're a woman, but you're the man. You're the person that these people hate. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of Svengali brainwashing must this be for you to convince people that millionaire is bad because he's orange, but I'm fine, and I got like billions of dollars, but I'm black, so it's different. It's a sickness because you don't recognize the person standing in front of you for what they really are. You think it's the Republicans are bad when these people are the exact same persona. There's nothing different. They don't believe the shit they spew out their mouth. They just do it to keep you in place. You, I mean Democrats. You that are watching the video understand that. You understand about taxes and everything else and capital gains and property investment. You understand probably. Numbnuts over here who just keep trying to watching these shows. Oh, Joe and Mika. Oh, they're. Oh, you go get them, girl. You tell Trump what he's all about. Meanwhile, they're walking out with their 10, 15 million a year. You have to be a special kind of stupid not to understand that. Not to understand it. Oh, it's those rich Republicans with jets and everything. Oh my God. How do you think George Clooney and Obama travel? You think they walk up to the Spirit counter and say, hey, can I get a ticket? Can you figure out, can I sit in like row 14F? Can I have some extra leg room? I'll pay $30 extra. Said none of them. None of them. And it just doesn't sink in. It doesn't sink in. One of these things is not like the other, except they are like the other. You just don't know. You think all these albums and concert tours and what's it? Taylor Swift charges sometimes $2,000 and $3,000 a ticket, maybe $10,000 a ticket. Ain't nobody crying at her going, you ain't got a special section for the po people. You're not helping out the newcomers. I don't see a section in her concerts, stadium where it's like, oh, the newcomers get to come in for free. Oh, hell no. You better pay. So, back to the ladies of The View. I just want to let you know, they're happy Trump got elected. Don't make any bones about it. They are ecstatic because they know the misery of the left will tune in to hear this kind of drivel. And drivel it is.
On the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as Border Czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as Deputy Chief of Staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers.
Did you know there was a certain classification for people who broke the law? I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I did sleep in a Holiday Inn once, Holiday Inn Express. But I didn't know that when you break the law, if I just go in and kick in your front door, I said, wait a second. I got a grandmom, abuela, however you say it. I got a daughter, I got a granddaughter. Oh, my granddaughter, she came in the house and she stole your vase, but she's only a granddaughter. You can't charge her. Oh, little Johnny, yeah, that's my uncle. He's a little bit older. You got to let him go. You can't really charge him. I've been searching statutes since I saw this, and I didn't know there were statutes that said, oh, you're 60. Go ahead, steal what you need. Then again, I haven't been to California in a while. I didn't know there was a statute that said, oh, your grandma Javier? Yeah, you can steal and do whatever you want to do too. I know I sound crazy and I'm over the top with it, but that's what she just said. This woman on television just said, you know who's going to get caught, Libuela and Galabila and this and this and that and the other person, and that's who's going to get caught. Well, you wouldn't get caught if you didn't break the law. See, these people don't care about laws. They don't care if somebody comes and takes your stuff. What did AOC? They're just hungry. Well, can I come to your house, AOC, and kick in your front door and take your stuff off the shelf? Because the people from The View seem to think, hey, listen, man, the grandmothers, the uncles, the little kids, all of them that broke the law, we shouldn't look to enforce it. Basically, they got here And many of you don't, may you do, many of you may not realize there was a law here in Florida. And it was people who basically came from Cuba. And it was 1 foot, dry foot, wet foot, whatever. But if you got to Florida and you stepped on United States soil, you were okay if coming away from Cuba. I'm not really sure her entire pedigree, but I understand she had some relatives that did that. And she's equating to everybody who basically rushed the southern border to who came from communist Cuba. And we're truly fleeing a dictator. The other people, it's not the case. Mexico just elected a new president. They're not dictators. So she's lying once again, but you're not supposed to know that.
It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Totes, can't wait.
I don't know if they're using that as some kind of a disclaimer to us. Hey, you saw it. Now here's what's going to happen. You voted for it. Okay, thank you for reinforcing my decision. Thank you very much for underscoring that's what we wanted. I got into a Twitter post, on X post, exchange with Ryan Clark, who used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is now on ESPN, and I called him a cuck. C-U-C-K. Because he came out with this video of him posing and doing different things, and he's like, I cannot believe I'll have to accept Trump as president, and it's the most divided time in our country. And I thought to myself, dude, did you see the electoral map? You got some blue up here, and you got some blue over here, and the rest is red. You need to go look at the map. And then you need to basically pull back like you did in football and watch a game film. Because damn, you need some edification in a hurry. In a hurry. So before I move on to the next one, which she gave up the goods when she said about Stephen Miller, we're just freaking him out again about that. Let me see if I can't get some of you guys comments here. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Tom McDonald. Cut off their phone, food stamps, cash benefit, no government funds. I believe that's what indeed he's going to be doing. Perry, you're cracking me up. Show the map again. I don't have a copy of it, but it's all red except for two little sides up here that are blue. Everyone, look at the map. I mean, you're playing ball. You look at scoreboard. You look to see what's the score here. How much time is left? Well, if you look at the electoral board, there ain't no time left, and you got your ass swamped. It's pretty much, you can see the score. It's 312 to, 226? You got blowed out. So it's not most divided ever. It's actually quite united. A whole lot of states went, yeah, we want what Trump is selling. Absolutely. Gotta love red on the USA map. It's all over it. I'm not so sure. What's this? Did you hear about Kamala Harris' chief of staff going on Fox and talking about, talked about that yesterday, that he wanted just to name her as a president for a ceremonial. Yeah, dishonor the country even more, you idiots. Show the USA county by map. Oh my goodness, you guys want to see that? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Electoral map 2024. And let me see. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sure somebody's got it here. Images. Yep, here we go. Let me see if I can just make this bigger so you guys can see it. I might have to. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll put it in here, and I'll import it, and then you guys can see it all. But it's not divided. I don't know what the bro's talking about. hold on. Let me do this. So you guys throw me curveballs here. I wasn't ready for it, and now I got to pull it up because I was just running my mouth talking about it, and now I got it. And here we go. All right. Here's the map. That is the final map as it is for this past election. And as you can see on that map, it's just about all red. That ain't even close to being divided. That's not even close to being even half and half. It's basically up in the north and out west, and then you got a little blue down here in Palm Beach County and you know, where people are resisting, which is basically at this point New Yorkers who relocated. I mean, let's just be honest. We go to the store and we see New York plates everywhere. These are people who just came down here and they brought their insanity with them. Robin was in the grocery store yesterday and some lady was talking about how she was mad because everybody down here walking around with MAGA stuff. There's a remedy for that. I just want to let anybody know who's moved into, you know, anywhere in this red area and you're upset because people in one of those voluminous red areas are wearing MAGA hats and some of them are even making TikToks where they're doing the Trump dance. There is a remedy for that. Move. Real simple. If you want to, you know, continue with your liberal insanity, you can hop on a plane and pack your shit and just go. Ain't nobody stopping you. That's a wonderful thing about the United States is as of right now, we know nobody's going to be inhibiting travel anytime soon. So you are welcome to head over to California or back up to the Northeast. Either way, I don't care, and shut the F up and deal with it. I don't have a MAGA hat on because I got a big head. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a big nice hat. But in any event, you know, and Robin she was nice. She didn't say anything to the lady, but she said she laughed out loud. No voter ID in those blue states. Yep, that's exactly what it is. New York looks awfully red. Where's New York on that list? Yeah, it did. All right, rest in peace to Peanut the squirrel, the canary in the coal mine. New York looks awfully red. Yes, go to China. Go over there. Yeah, I don't understand people. Nobody is keeping you here. You're not stuck. New York people also just winter vacation in Florida. Exactly. It's too cold for you up there. You can't stay, but you know you just can't stand Florida. I don't know what. Why are you here? You know, I wouldn't go to some place that I didn't like. Oh, yeah, because the lady actually said I have to be here because, you know, we come down here during the winter. You don't have to be anywhere. Snap. I don't care. So anyway, let's move into story number 2 or 3. 2, whatever. Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller has now been named the, what, Czar? Assistant Chief of Staff and Director of Policy. That's it. And so Trump is putting together this monster team, a close-knit team, and he's running with it, which I have no problem with it. There's been an announcement since we've been on the air that I'm going to talk to you guys about. So here is Stephen Miller, and most of what Stephen Miller says, I can't show you. Just so you know, a lot of what Stephen Miller does when he is brought on and he does a speech, this guy is probably, if Tom Homan is the big pit bull, Stephen Miller is the little pit bull, probably like my Chihuahua, right next to him, and he's an ankle biter. He'll bite your face off just as well. And now the two of these guys are going to be working together? Oh, yeah, exploding heads everywhere. So let me show you a little bit of what Stephen Miller has said.
I want you to think for a minute about the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Their jobs looted and stolen from them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries. The lives of their loved ones ripped away from them by illegal criminal gangs and thugs who don't belong in this country. I'm not just saying that. You've read the stories. It happens every day. You read one of these heartbreaking headlines. Who's going to stand up for our daughters? Who's going to stand up for the girls of America, the women of America, the families of America?
You know, the question I had, and I would have with any Democrat, is if you didn't know he was a Trump supporter, if you didn't know that he was a Republican, couldn't I ask you as a Democrat those same questions? Who's going to stand up for your wife, your daughter, the weak in this country, from being attacked by newcomers? Who's going to do that? Do you have an answer, Mr. Democrat, Miss Democrat? Or are we just supposed to let it happen? See, be politically agnostic. If you can for a second, take off the MAGA hat, and you take off the whoever hat you want to have on, and if the two of you were having a discussion about protecting your wife, your daughter, your grandkids, your dog and cat, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what they're doing to them. But anyway, and you didn't know the other person was a Republican or a Democrat, wouldn't you have the same answers to that question? I mean, I cannot believe, and I will never believe, that Democrats sit around going, hey, if it happens to my wife or my daughter or grandkids, oh, so what? It's fine, as long as these people can be let into the country. You see, I think that's politically agnostic. There is no way anybody would look at their loved ones and go, yeah, if it happens, it happens. No big deal. No, that conversation wouldn't happen. There's no way on God's green earth that a two people sitting, that it wouldn't be a unanimous decision saying, hell no, I don't want anybody doing that to my kids. Any of my females in my family. Nobody. So how come when after you've had that question and you put the red hat back on and they put on the blue hat, that all of a sudden it's, oh my God, I cannot believe you're saying this. Well, you just said it. You just admitted you feel the exact same way. How did they trick you into believing because it's red, it's bad, but it's blue, we don't do that. It's okay, let them all in. We don't care what happens to them. I cannot believe that. I will not believe that. That tells me you have been gaslit and brainwashed. Do it in your own family. Hey, this hadn't do enough to do with politics. Hey, how you doing? You want the drumstick? Yeah, I'd like some thigh and some stuffing. By the way, how's your wife doing? Good. What would happen if newcomer came and broke in the window and had her way with her? What would happen? And don't even mention the word Trump. You watch the guy go, what do you mean? I just had a question, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. I just wonder where your head was. You guys look like you have a happy family. What happens if somebody came in and did this and that and had their way with your wife and daughter? How would you feel? And then you got to believe that person would go, no, that would never happen. Okay. And then pick your hat up at the table and go, welcome to MAGA. Because we're the same. You just see this red hat and red shirt, and you think to yourself, oh, these people are nuts, when you would feel the same way. And matter of fact, let me bring your wife over the table because I want her to hear the answer to this. I want to hear your liberal, crazy wife hear what you would say if someone broke into your home and had their way with her. What would you do? And that's when it's easy to prove that people are insane on the left. Because if it truly was politically agnostic and nobody there knew what the other person, who they were voting for, and you had that kind of conversation with somebody, I cannot believe anybody anywhere would say they're okay with somebody doing something to someone they love. And if he did say that, then that woman's an idiot. And she should leave very quickly because this man doesn't have her best interest at heart. But the left, with people like on The View and the politicians, they have somehow convinced these people, it's okay. It didn't happen to your family. It happened to their family. You're going to be all right. As if you want it to happen to anyone's family. Why, when we see the videos of Jocelyn, the 12-year-old little girl, and Trump would play the video during his rallies. And I used to think, as I was covering up stuff so they didn't get mad, I'm like, would anybody, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, anybody think that's okay? That these two guys did what they did? Raise your hand and tell me if you're okay with that happening to a family member. Of course not. There won't be anybody raising their hand. So why the hell is it a problem when Republicans say, hey, we're going to try and stop this from happening to anybody's family? What happened where the Democrats just completely looked the other way, don't even want it talked about? Oh, yeah, you can't show that video of that little girl. No, hey, ixnay. Oh, we can't even talk about it. No. So we can't show the video of an actual incident because people on your side might see it and realize this is some bullshit. This is what's happening? Yeah, because once people find out that agnostic political stance is encouraged, because immediately you'd be incensed and go, if that was my kid, oh, if that was my 12-year-old daughter, I'd have went hunting. Said every single man I've ever known, left or right. So the reason why they don't want people talking about it is because the more it's talked about, the more it's shown, the more it's in people's face, as you just saw in this election, people are like, hell no. And so you only got idiots over here, and idiots over here, and idiots on television who pretend it's not happening. And the reason they don't care about it is because most of them are childless. They're not married. They can't even contemplate what would happen. Oh, I don't got no kids. Oh, that's right. You're living that alternative lifestyle. Yeah. That's the same thing you would think to yourself, oh, I'm going to get myself in some serious trouble now. That alphabet bunch of people who are walking and supporting, that crazy country over there, not realizing that crazy country over there wouldn't be happy that you're supporting them and would probably see if you could fly. But somehow, they've convinced them to say that slogan. And I'm like, do you realize what would happen if you were over there? I'm going to get myself in trouble. They're going to tell me, oh, you can't do this video. We're going to have to cut it. All right, let's go back to Stephen Miller before I get myself in further trouble.
Who's going to stand up and say the cartels are gone, the criminal migrants are gone, the gangs are gone, America is for Americans and Americans only?
Again, what did he say there if you didn't know who he was, that you'd think was wrong? We're going to get rid of these people who are doing these bad things. Okay.
I mean, you've seen case after case, these heartbreaking tragedies. Those ones are going to get found and deported first. And look at this Venezuelan gang. You have a Venezuelan gang that is taking over entire apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and that's responsible, by the way, for some of the most heinous crimes that have happened all over the United States. The crime rate in Venezuela is down, I believe, a little bit over 60% over the last several years.
And that's about all I can show him, because he speaks truth that people don't want to hear. Again, being politically agnostic, wherever you live, whatever city you're in right now, I don't care if it's overseas. If some guy showed up and said, we are your landlords now. What do you mean? You pay us. What? Yes, you pay us. And what if we don't pay you? Oh, let me show you. Would you be okay with that? How is that even a left versus right issue? Because they detach themselves from reality, because some people make it easy for you to detach yourself from reality. You can't understand how that could happen to you. Oh, that couldn't happen to me. That's happened to people in Aurora, Colorado. What happened if it, happened in Springfield, Massachusetts? What happens if it, happened in Jacksonville, Florida? How about, Talladega, Alabama? What do you mean? Would you be okay with it if it was near where you live, or, God forbid, your apartment complex? Again, don't have no red hat, no blue hat, just talking to you as a person. Would you be okay if somebody showed up who wasn't supposed to be here and decided they were your new landlord and you're going to have to do things they want. And by the way, your wife is cute, man. Seriously? Seriously? See, when people, even like Kamala, would say in her speeches, you know, there's a lot more we have in common that divides us, she was telling the truth. But what they don't want you to know is what you have in common. You see, they never say the things, you know, we have a lot more in common than that which divides us, like wanting safety for your family, wanting to make sure this. They never said that. Because if they said, what do we have in common? Tell me. Well, we want to grow up safe. We want our kids to be safe when they go to school. And we want to make sure that nobody's invading. And we want to make sure. So you want the same things. How did politically we get to a point where people on the left are okay with more taxes? Oh, because it's coming from the rich people. You mean the people you support? What about the newcomers? Oh, you know, they just look for a better life until they take one of your better lives. You don't want that, do you? See, the entire thing about what the Democrats have done is basically just look at people and go, you're too stupid to know we're BSing you. Because the same thing that Republicans want, you want. And so what happened in this election was a lot of people woke up and went, they're nuts. This dude is who I want to vote for. And the reason why I'm voting for him is because I understand that those things you said we're more common with, he's actually going to support. So you just used it as a stump speech. You just came out there and, you know, read a teleprompter. There are more things that we have in common than that which divides us. Well, the other guy, Trump, was like, what do you got to lose? I'm going to do this, and this. And he hit on that commonality. It was easy for him at that point. Let me just show you, I know what you hold dear. You hold dear your money. You hold dear your safety. Even if people weren't complete patriots, they may not be like us, he hit that commonality. You see, nobody wants higher taxes. You'd have to be an absolute moron to think that people want to pay more taxes. We have that in common. Nobody wants to pay higher grocery prices. Another commonality. Nobody wants higher gas prices. Yeah, I'm with you. And you can just go down the list. How about no tax on tips? Oh, I don't care if you're left or right. Yeah, I'm good with that. We got something in common. No tax on overtime. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got something in common. No tax on Social Security. Oh, grandma's going to be better? Yeah, oh, we got something in common. I may not be someone who stands up for the national anthem. I may not be somebody who, you know, wants to go ahead and enlist and fight this other country. But all these things, yeah, I'm good with them. Let me vote for this guy. Democrats didn't figure it out. They thought that, hey, listen, most people care about is baby removal. And they found out that was a very shrinking percentage. Most people don't care about January 6th. Small percentage. So you were serving up liver and onions, and Trump's serving up sirloin. It became an easy choice. Politics isn't complicated. The reason Trump won is because he recognized the commonality. It is true. We have more in common than that which divides us. And I've sat back and watched the campaign the whole time like, do they not get this? Do they not understand? They're trying to say Republicans are different when everybody can look across to the Republican and say, no, you don't have 3 ears. You don't have horns coming out of your head. For some reason, you follow this nut orange guy, but you don't want to pay more taxes? Yeah, I'm down with you, bro. I went to get a haircut the other day. Inside my barber shop, or studio, whatever you want to call it, there's guys walking around with ear piercings and nose piercings and tattoos and everything else. And when I got done, he buzzed me and everything, and I got ready to pay, I handed him a credit card. He's like, we don't take credit cards here. I'm like, you ain't got a credit card machine in this whole place? No. Y'all all take cash only? Yeah. Welcome to the Republican Party. You don't want to pay taxes. Ain't nobody knowing what this barbershop in Boca Raton with like 15 guys up in here cutting hair continuously, and they're all getting paid cash. But dude, you look like a stereotypical Democrat. You got the nose ring, you got the earring, the lobe thing, you got tattoos, all with the green hair. I was afraid to sit down, thinking he might recognize me. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna buzz my head off. But he was fine. He talking, hey man, how you doing? What you doing today? Yeah, it's great outside. Trump didn't come up once until the end when he said, hey, we don't take credit cards, we only take cash. I was like, oh, it must be really hard for you to watch television then, right? Because, no tax on tips, but you don't have to worry about it because you ain't declaring shit. You're taking it all as cash. By the way, I don't walk around with cash. Oh, there's an ATM up front. Oh, right by the desk, there's an ATM, so you can go ahead and go get the cash. They make sure they fill up every day, and then come back and hand it to the guy to cut your hair. There is indeed more, we have more in common than what divides us. They just try to pretend like they don't. All the way up to Nancy Pelosi. So, that's that. So that's Stephen Miller. So now I want to get to Ron Scott. See, this whole thing with Ron Scott. Well, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to let you guys listen to all this BS about Ron Scott.
President-elect Trump says whoever wants the job should back a Senate tool allowing him to bypass Congress and quickly get his administration in place.
Recess appointment, I guess. Our next guest backs this move, which quickly earned him the support from Elon Musk. Why are you the best choice?
With regard to the Trump nominees, we got to get them done. Whatever it takes. If it's recess appointments, whatever it takes, we got to get these done. We know Schumer's going to slow everything down. I am all on board. We've got to change the direction of this country. The country voted. They want a change. They want the Trump agenda. They want his nominees. They want his policies. We've got to do everything we can to get that done.
So, Senator, how's your chances looking? Because we're talking about a simple majority, right, that you have to get. It looks like you got Thune as well as my Senator John Cornyn from the great state of Texas, but they may split the vote. So how's it looking for?
Somebody DM'd me on X, and they're like, Barry, have you seen that list that's going around? You're going to talk about the list of people who aren't voting versus who they are voting? And I'm like, no. Why? Well, the reason why I'm not going to talk about that list, which you're going to see in a second, is you guys who have watched my videos for quite some time, I'm always the person that wants to wait. Let me see how things transpire. And if I see things transpire a certain way, then I'll make a video and talk about it. But I'm not going to run out there and post some list that looks like it just came off of a Word document with no idea who printed it, where they got it from their sources. Because I think there's a lot of people out there who are full of crap talking about their sources. You're a YouTuber. You may have certain guests on here, and they may talk to you, but one thing I've learned about the Trump campaign at this point, he's kind of tight-lipped. You watch what happens over the next couple months, how things get leaked and not leaked. If something gets leaked, it's because he wants it to get leaked. Did anybody, anywhere, on any forum, say that Tom Homan was going to be announced as a Border Czar today? Nope. Did anybody, anywhere, say that Steve Miller would be the deputy chief of staff today? Nope. So you don't know shit. You're out there running this campaign and you're trying to get more people to watch your videos and click on your shit, but you don't know anything. It's all conjecture until it actually happens. And so, no, I'm not going to talk or promote that list until it actually becomes real. And I'm going to show you why here in a second.
Where are you right now?
I'm very optimistic. I believe I'm going to win. Thune and Cornyn are friends. Here's what I bring to the table. I clearly believe in the Trump agenda, number one. I'm a business guy that had success doing exactly what we need to do in the Senate. We need to have a plan. We need to work a plan. We need to have a team. We need to measure ourselves. If we want to get all the nominees done, we've got to figure out a plan to get it done. If we want to get a balanced budget, we got to start today to get a balanced budget. If we want to get the border secure, if we want to get whatever policies we have to get through Congress, we have to have a plan, just like what you do in business. I ran a company with 285,000 employees. We had a written plan for everything to get it done. My colleagues have told me they want change. They want to be treated as equal. They want to be part of a team. They want to have an agenda. They want to have a great relationship with the House. They know I have a great relationship with Speaker Mike Johnson. So I'm very optimistic that I'm going to win because I'm representing Trump's agenda and what my colleagues want.
So you have Elon Musk in your corner. You have Senator Marco Rubio in your corner, but it's a secret ballot. Do you have Trump in your corner?
Well, I hope he weighs in. I welcome his support, but that's up to him. Tommy Tuberville supported me. Bill Hagerty supported me. The Ron Johnson supported me. There's other people that clearly would like what I'm talking about, but it's a secret ballot, so we'll see if they come out publicly and support me. But I'm going to work hard. I believe I'm going to win because I represent exactly what the Trump team wants and what Trump wants and what the American public wants. We have a great Republican Party across the country. We need to have a Republican Party representing us as leader in the Senate.
So you heard him say, the guy asked him, Brian Kilmeade said, do you have Trump support? Notice how he tapped dance around that. And he goes, I don't know yet, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't say it. JD and Trump, as president and vice president-elect, are staying kind of out of the fray at this point. But I'm going to tell you why there's smoke signals being put up. I wasn't mentioning any names, but somebody posted this just a second ago. Barry, the list came from Benny Johnson, who got it from one of the senators. I like Benny. I think he puts out some great content. How do you know the answer to that question that you just raised? You said it came from one of the senators. Okay? How do you know? And you can just leave a comment for me if you'd like. How do you know where it came from? Did it have someone's seal on it, their signature? How do you know it came from a senator? Because someone on YouTube told you? You see, everything I try to show you, I try to give you some verification and some researchability where you can go look and see, oh, this was said and that was said. I just told you, and it kind of went a long way around, the commonality versus uncommonality. And hopefully it made things in your mind, okay, yeah, if I sat down with a liberal, yeah, we'd probably come to a lot more agreement if I wasn't wearing a red hat. So I'm asking you, since you made that comment, and you're saying somebody showed it and said it came from a senator, and that's all you needed. So I'm going to give you an adversarial counter to that. And it's weird because I didn't know you were going to post that. I didn't mention anybody's name. I just said there's a list floating around out there, and I wouldn't put too much credence into that list. Here's why.
Well, there's an official-looking document floating around the internet that supposedly says, here's how every Republican senator would vote, and here's who he or she would vote for Senate majority leader. And in an unprecedented act of selflessness, it has Senator Thune actually voting against himself and for Senator Cornyn. If you think this list is real or accurate, then you probably think that Elvis is alive. and
I don't know. Somebody's lying. Somebody's full of poo-poo. Either Senator Kennedy is lying or some of these people passing this list around are lying. I don't know. This man just said, he's a sworn senator, and said if you believe this list, you basically think Elvis is still alive. So are you looking to believe this person over that person? That's on you. I'm not making any decision, and I'm not putting any credence or what would be the word uncredence in it either. I'm just saying you got two different people, one who's actually a sitting senator saying the list is bullshit. It doesn't exist. And you got someone else who you watch who says, I got it from a senator. What are you going to do? But what I'm going to show you is going to tell you that list doesn't matter. I don't care if it is real. I don't care if it isn't real. Because I know specifically with what I'm going to show you that the decision's already been made. It's already done. And when I lead you to that, you're going to go, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's continue with this assassination of John Cornyn and John Thune and the big bad guys who are trying to work with Mitch McConnell and everything. Let's continue.
And running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. We haven't even had a meeting yet to hear the formal proposals from the three nominees about how, if at all, they will run things differently.
Did you know that? Did you know there's not been a formal meeting of the senators yet to determine what they're going to do? It went, I understand that McConnell called a vote for Wednesday. Today's Monday. Do you know if there's been any meetings, any hearings, not hearings, but back channel meetings to say, hey, we're going to go this way or that way? No. In fact, he just went on TV and said there haven't even been any meetings yet.
Then Senator McConnell. Here's what I know. We will pick a leader who will advance President Trump's agenda. We saw what everybody else saw on Tuesday night. Despite what the so-called experts in Washington say, with their NPR tote bags and their organic broccoli, this was a really simple message from the people. Republicans aren't perfect, but the other side is crazy.
Understand what he just said there. We saw the scoreboard too. 312 to 226. All this red on the map. This is a mandate. We're not stupid. We understand at this point, all of us are sticking our necks on the line if we don't do what Trump wants to do. All of us. Not Thune, not Cornyn, him too. You have to understand the absolute bludgeon that Trump is carrying right now. I make reference to that scene in Untouchables when Robert De Niro as Al Capone is walking around with the baseball bat, and remember the dining room scene? They're all sitting around. These are all his lieutenants. These are the people. And then one of the guys screwed up, and he goes, and he bashes his head in. Don't F up again. I'm just telling y'all, don't F up. I'm looking at that right now and going, that's Trump walking around with that baseball bat. You want to go ahead and screw up? You want to be the one that I hit over the head with this baseball bat? They can't screw this up. Trump is in a unscrew-upable position. You can play your games. You can have your votes and revotes. But when all the dust settles and all the crap on X and Twitter goes away, I'm going to have my man. Because that's how it's going to be. You can bitch about it. You can go ahead and have 3 or 4 votes until you figure out who it is. But you all know who it's going to be. That's who it's going to be. I would be completely surprised if it wasn't Rick Scott at this point. You can all go save face and, you know, talk your shit and do everything you do, but I want my guy. I got my Tom Homan. I got my Stephen Miller. I got my Susie Wise. And then a couple other people I'm going to tell you about. Don't screw it up. Don't. And I feel very confident in that.
And President Trump is going to do things differently, and we will pick a leader who will help him do that.
But it's certainly not helpful, and it's not presidential. President needs to stay focused. We've got an agenda.
Have you reached out to the White House to express that?
I haven't reached out specifically with this latest tweet, but I think the White House is fully aware of what many of us think.
So this is Thune talking about, I don't want to be any parts of Donald Trump. Don't want no parts of him.
In terms of the use of social media, and I think the president, I'd like to see him confine it to talking about the issues that the American people care about in his agenda, which is jobs and the economy and tax reform and infrastructure and health care reform.
We just heard from the White House saying...
I want to bring this up as well. Liz Cheney, you'd be...
Now this is Cornyn.
Hard to find somebody more conservative in Congress than Liz Cheney. Perpetuating the big lie is an attack on the core of our constitutional republic. Is she right?
Well, I believe Joe Biden won the election, and President Trump had about 60 different lawsuits that were unsuccessful in changing the outcome. But there's no question in my mind about the outcome of the last election.
Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. Would you support him?
Well, I'm hoping, Leanne, to have other options.
So I think what we know is...
This is Chris Cicilla, who used to be with CNN. He's starting his own little podcast thing. And, you just saw Thune and Cornyn basically showing their past that they didn't really want to be any part of Donald Trump. But listen to what Chris says here.
What we very much thought was going to happen, which is the path to a senior job, whether it's a cabinet official job or an administration job of any sort, is loyalty to Donald Trump.
So if we all know that the path to one of these positions is basically loyalty to Donald Trump, and you've seen who he's picked thus far: Homan, Susie Wise, Stephen Miller. These are people who came in and said, Godfather, kiss the ring. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Do you think for a chance or shot in hell that he's going to let one of these two idiots who've defamed him over the years take that position? I mean, just think about it. They are fighting for their lives as rhinos. They are trying to do everything they can. And Trump knows, he's not stupid. He knows these people have come against me for quite some time. They didn't want me doing this. They said that. They said this. But at the same time, you know that Ted Cruz and he weren't getting along. And all of a sudden they're getting along. You know that Marco Rubio and Trump weren't getting along. And now they're getting along. At some point, you have to kiss the ring. Because if you don't kiss the ring, then you're not with me. Why do I think it's going to be Rick Scott? Well, because I've seen some indication from the people who actually matter. You see, everyone like me and other YouTubers and talking shit and call your senator and do this. I look at who the people Trump trusts. What did the people who Trump trust? What are they saying? The inner circle. I'm talking about the tightest inner circle. What are they saying about who's going to be the Senate Majority Leader or who should be the Senate Majority Leader? Well, let's see if we can't figure out who that might be. Here's RFK Jr. Without Rick Scott, the entire Trump reform agenda is wobbly. RFK Jr. Great. Let's see who else. Oh, Elon Musk. Rick Scott for Senate Majority Leader. Oh. Makes a lot of sense. Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh. Said it in May, I'll stand by it today. Scott for Florida for Senate Majority Leader. And I believe you also know that, what's his name? Rubio has said the same thing as well. So if all of these people who are the closest to Trump, who are part of that, quote, Avengers team that we've been touting, I don't give a shit what other people are saying. If that inner circle is saying Rick Scott, I'm pretty sure Vivek Rubio, Elon, and RFK Jr. are the de facto heads of the five families, or the other heads of the five families, with Trump being one. If they have all said, and they have put out there in public, it's Rick Scott. Do you think for an instant that they're going to pick somebody else? Because it's one thing if you say you're going to defy Trump, but you're going to defy that power structure? Do you really think, after people have heard, I'm not talking about the people running their mouths on X. There's everybody. Oh, we need to make this call and call everybody else. Vivek, Rubio, RFK Jr., and Elon Musk have all said, that's the guy. The inner circle, who Trump trusts, who Trump speaks to probably daily. Guys, I can't say it as the, president-elect, and JD can't say it. But go ahead and let everybody know. But then again, Trump can't say it, but look at this I found. He retruthed somebody else, and it says, we the people elected Senator Rick Scott to be the mega Senate Majority Leader. The corrupt establishment can't be allowed to take it away from us. So without him saying it, he retweeted, reposted, however you want to say it. He came out and endorsed it. I can't post it. I can retweet it. It's a little bit different. I can retruth it, whatever it's called. So in essence, Trump has said it. RFK Jr. has said it. Elon Musk has said it. Vivek Ramaswamy has said it. And Marco Rubio has said it. I'll be looking for Tulsi in a little bit. So if everybody in the Avenger group has said it's Rick Scott, do you really think they're going to pick one of these other guys? Come on, man. You want to fight that? You want to fight the strength of that group? You'd be a moron. An absolute moron. So right now you're getting there infighting, and you got the McConnell group, and you got this person, and you got that person, and you notice Trump's not worried about it. RFK Jr. isn't worried about it. Elon, not worried about it. Vivek, not worried about it. They let you know that's the guy. That's him. Everybody else is out there screaming and getting clicks and likes and all kinds of stuff because they're trying to make it seem like there's this big thing. They're trying to steal it. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. Well, until I see the other guys start freaking out, I'm pretty sure he already knows. Why? Because I trust him. I trust Trump over anybody on the internet. I trust Trump, which is why I voted for him, to put together the best team he can put together. I know this man was playing chess and understanding what pieces he needed well before he even got elected. I'm sure he had it on his board and said, we're going to put this piece here and this piece here and this piece there. How do I know that? How the hell could he be releasing all these new people as being appointed so fast, literally less than a week since he's been elected? And they're going to go with him here, his person here, and that person there. And we're going to just keep filling these in and leave these people running, trying to figure out what I'm doing. So no, I'm not even engaging in that stuff about Thune and Cornyn unless I see this. People like, Barry, you're going to go out there and push out the senator's numbers to call? No, don't need to. The people who got the numbers, let them take care of business. See, my phone call to a senator in Florida, which would be Rubio and Scott anyway, my phone call ain't the same as Trump's phone call. Ain't the same as J.D. Vance's phone call. Ain't the same as RFK Jr. and Tulsi and Rubio and Elon. Elon can ruin some of these people. You don't think he's got some info in his Twitter files that he can say, hey, listen, I know what you did. Don't worry about it. Let them have their vestiges of fun and complaints and run around like chickens with their heads cut off. And I got an inside source that says this. No, I got 5 inside sources. And then when one of those guys says, oh, we got a problem, then I'll know we got a problem. That's why I keep saying to you all over and over again when people say, I don't trust Rubio and I don't trust this person. You trust Trump. I know you do because you've been here for months. You trust Trump. And if you trust Trump, chill. Let the man work. Let him cook. Don't freak out. It's all good. It's all, if you believe in him, then you know it's all good. Let me take a few comments about that because I know yeah, we need the strong cabinet. He's putting together the strong cabinet. Yeah, he's doing it. Bongino for FBI, head of FBI, that would become my phone call to either of my state's Democrat senators would be wasted. Yeah, just chill. Just put on some Netflix and chill. Well, I don't have Netflix anymore. But in any event, so while this has been going on, some other stuff happened. And let's see, what do we got here? Breaking. This was breaking a little while ago, but nonetheless, it broke. He named somebody else. Elise Stefanik has accepted Trump's offer to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. This admin is going to be stacked. You think he just thought of that this morning? You think he rolled out of bed and said, you know what? I'm not really sure I can name, the UN ambassador. But, maybe Elise Stefanik. What I found interesting about this, read that. Actually read that and see what you see. What stands out to you? What stands out to you? This was posted at 7 o'clock this morning, today. Anything stand out to you? How about the word accepted? Meaning they've been discussing this. There wouldn't have been an offer at 7 o'clock in the morning or any tweet saying she accepted it if they weren't already back channel talking about it. I didn't see many posts. I didn't see anybody leaking it. I didn't know anything about it. Boom. She's the UN ambassador. She accepted Trump's offer. What offer? I didn't know. Did you know about an offer? I didn't know about no offer. Boom. Of course she didn't. Then, on top of that, we got this one. Trump picks Lee Zeldin to lead the Environmental Protection Agency, second New Yorker to cabinet. Lee Zeldin is now the head of the EPA. This got posted 3:10, a little bit after we went live. 3:10. SV, thank you. SV tweeted that or DM'd me that as soon as he saw it. So I'm just trying to figure out. All these people are talking crap on X. Don't even know at this point what's really going on. Didn't see any leaks about Lee Zeldin. Didn't see anything about Elise Stefanik. So trust Trump's got his ducks in a row and he knows where he's going. Have you also considered the fact that maybe Trump is doing an op? And what I mean by op is some, how can I say this? Surveillance. You see, I want to know, just like Capone, I want to know who's with me and I want to know who's against me. So you guys go ahead and play your charade of who's going to vote for Thune and Cornyn against me. Let me know. And that's why Mitch McConnell's doing it in secret. It's not so you and I don't know. It's so Trump doesn't know. Because when Trump finds out who voted against him, they're going to have hell to pay. They will have absolute hell to pay. So to shield people, McConnell came up with this scheme and said, hey, we're going to do this in private. Trump's probably like, go ahead. I'm still going to know. I'm still going to find out. You know why? Because now what you're seeing are people coming public. Oh, I'm voting for Trump. Oh, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. You might as well just come out because everyone's going to say who they're voting for. They want Trump to know they voted for him. So you guys go ahead and do your shit in secret. Think it's being covert. Because a lot of people are going to say, I voted for him. McConnell wanted to have this private thing. I played along with it, but I voted for Trump. Kiss the ring, baby. Kiss it. Kiss it. Love it. And kiss it some more. And those of you who don't vote for me, I'm going to know. Because it's going to be a shorter list. Dave McCormick just got elected. I don't know when he gets conveyed a vote to do it, but there are going to be a lot of people in that room or you know, writing their names down and stuff. They're going to know. So that's my feeling on that. Just trust Trump. This movie is getting really interesting. Yeah, start a chart of his employees. Yeah, you're right. I should probably start a chart of his employees. They were already agreed upon constitutional laws taking place. This is all constitutional laws. President Trump already knows. Yeah, bring the popcorn and watch the movie. People get all wigged out when they see stuff on X or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, these people don't know shit. And I respect them. They got good game. Many of them have great game. They do great content. But when you're talking about the inner circle here, this ain't something where Trump is, telling you that, Blue Star likes, Endicott Steel. Reference to Wall Street back in the day, that movie. He's not calling people to go blah, blah, blah. No, he's got his group. After what he went through in his last presidency, he knows keep it close. RFK, Elon, Rubio, J.D. Vance, and Tulsi. And Vivek. That's it. That's it. And so I just proved it to you that there were two appointees that you can go search and see how many people out there knew that Lee Zeldin was going to be, the director or secretary of the EPA, which they're going to destroy. Thank you. Or at least Stefanik, again from New York, was going to work on the UN. And when the next one drops, everyone's going to go, oh, so he picked him or her? Yep. Who knew Susie Wise was going to get picked? Did you hear anybody talking about that? Hey, Susie Wise is now his chief of staff. First woman ever. Nobody. They're doing stuff under cover of darkness, and they're not letting anybody know. I mean, anybody. I mean, it's probably Don Jr., it's probably Susie Wise, it's probably Eric Trump, Laura Trump, it's probably... Oh, by the way, Laura Trump said, oh, it's going to be Rick Scott. Did you know that? Laura Trump said it. So the inner circle is giving you... Wake up. Don't go against the family. Do not go against this family at this point. I would pity the fool. I would be an absolute Mr. T right now. I'd be like, pity the fool that goes against Trump in this presidency. He will eviscerate you with that Thor-sized hammer he's walking into the White House with. Don't do it. You'd be a fool. You McConnell, you're too old. You wouldn't withstand one clock of a hammer over your head. It ain't gonna happen. Making it leaf proof, yeah. And I mean, we could play a game right now. We can okay, who's the next one? Who I can search on X and has there been any more? And we'd find out that such and such got appointed, and nobody knows. And see what happens. I mean, no, I'm looking around. Here's something I saw interesting. Really interesting. This was posted an hour ago, 3:47 p.m. I want you to see this and tell me what you think he's talking about. Vivek Ramaswamy, 3 words. Shut it down. Shut what down, man? Shut it down? You got to give me more to go on that. Or do I need to go look around and see what somebody's rumor is? Why would you post something that says, shut it down? What in the hell are you talking about? Give me more than that, bro. You just, and here's the other thing. When you guys are looking at these posts by RFK Jr. and the rest of them, Elon, you have to also understand that nothing is being published without the consent of the big guy. You can, Elon, go ahead and talk about your rockets and everything else. Good. RFK, go ahead and talk about your food. Good. Vivek, whatever you're going to talk about, go ahead and talk about it. Good. None of you say anything about my cabinet positions unless I let you know it's time to put it out there. Barry, how do you know that? Because I see how close this man is. You don't think he's talked to these people? Whoever that inner circle is very, very tight. Very tight. And there's no way he's want somebody out there posting on X, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? No, we'll let you know. Let's see what here is I don't know what I'm looking to see if there's anything about shutting it down, and I don't see anything. Don't see anything at all. He did post this. He reposted this by this Thomas Massey put this up, and Vivek just reposted it. He said the new Congress begins on January 3rd, but President Trump doesn't take office until January 20th. With majorities in the House and the Senate, we should have at least a dozen bills to shrink government overreach on his desk, awaiting his signature by the first day of his term. You think that was a random post? Or did Trump tell Massey, get that shit done? Have it ready to go. When you guys convene, you got 17 days before I become president. Get this shit done. Didn't see that posted anywhere. So all I'm saying is, as you start looking at things, understand that nobody, except a very few people, know what's going to happen until it happens. A lot of conjecture. A lot of people say they have their source, an inside source. I don't give a shit. I'm not interested in coming out first with, we found out this, and then it doesn't happen. You look stupid. Elon Musk posted this. Interesting. Who should be the Senate Majority Leader? Thune, Cornyn, Scott, other. Over 1 million votes since yesterday, and Scott's number 1. Why would Elon have posted that? Okay, I've given you enough breadcrumbs that you guys can now begin looking and seeing and watching. If you want the real information, start following those really close to him. See what they're talking about. And seeing the breadcrumbs they're putting out in front of you. A lot of us are on X. We have opinions. These people frickin' know. There's a difference between having an opinion and somebody frickin' knowing. So a lot of the Trump videos that have been getting posted, as you mentioned, are from as you know, are from 2022. But now they're resurfacing, and it's freaking people out. This video, if you haven't seen it, is where Trump is talking about what he plans on doing with the Department of Education.
Because the colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding, while academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth. The time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all.
I always wondered, why would we need so much forgivable student loan application of that kind of executive order? Why do the schools get off scot-free? Why can you charge somebody $100,000 a semester or a year to go to your school, get the government to run it? The kid can't get a job and he has to be a barista at Starbucks because he can't get a job with the $100,000 a year education you supposedly gave him. How can you keep your accreditation when your students don't get employed? And then you have the government tell you we're forgiving the loan, and nobody goes back to the school and says, hey, listen, your graduation rate's like 80 and your employment rate's like 62. We need to talk about you giving some of that money back. Never. Never, 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 never do you hear anything about any of these schools having to give money back to the government. It's the biggest money laundering scheme out there. I'm going to charge you $100,000 to go to this school. You're going to go to the government, apply for a loan. The government's going to give the school $100,000. And then you're going to tell the people of America that they need to forgive Susie's loan because she went to a shitty school and had a shitty curriculum, and she was taught, blanket science, how to make the best blankets, and she couldn't get a job with Mike Lindell, and so now we're stuck. She's stuck with $100,000. Let's go ahead and write that off. What? Why was the school not having, textile engineering? What the hell were these people working on? What were they studying that makes them completely unmarketable to the corporate world? And then they get out and think they deserve $100,000 jobs. Hey, yeah, I went to such and such school, and I should be getting $100,000. No, you weren't taught right, Susie. Go make some damn coffee or something.
These standards will include defending the American tradition and Western civilization, protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees.
Boom, heads exploding everywhere. What do you mean? No DI? No, we're not going to do that anymore. That's done. That's over with.
Providing meaningful job placement and career services,
Bingo.
And implementing college entrance and exit exams to prove that students are actually learning and getting their money's worth.
That's what I was talking about. Notice he said entrance and exit exams. So before you get the diploma, before you decide you're going to graduate, you need to prove that you've been educated. Well, I got my degree. See, it shows I'm educated. Now we're going to test you to make sure you're actually fluent in the stuff that you supposedly got your degree in. And hopefully your degree isn't in something that's not going to pay anything or there's no demand for jobs. It's beyond me how people are offering education to college kids knowing full well there is no demand beyond college for that particular major. I feel like when you look at education, you should actually be looking at what jobs are available and forecast what jobs are going to be available in 5 years. Well, we're always going to need lawyers. We're always going to need doctors. We're always going to need this and that and the other thing. But unless you can fit in one of these jobs, you shouldn't be taking that major unless you're paying for it yourself. Don't think you're going to be a social studies major in criminal justice if you're not going to law school. There has to be a reason you're taking that major, because you're taking $100,000 from taxpayers, and you have to have the expectation that you're going to be able to pay it back. So don't offer it to them. Hey, listen, you can't afford that major. What do you mean I can't afford it? Because if you use that major, you're going to have to take out a loan. unless you can pay for it yourself. We're not sure there's going to be any demand for you to get a job. What? Well, I understand you want to take basket weaving. And, we'd love you to take basket weaving, and we're going to give you this $100,000 loan. But if you take basket weaving, the government's going to say you don't have any future. So the only way you can take basket weaving is if you pay for it yourself. Now, we'll give you the $100,000 loan if you take, electrical engineering. But I can't take electrical engineering because I'm stupid. All right, well then, maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe you should go to vocational school and learn air conditioning repair, and you'll have a job forever. Or maybe you can become a mechanic. Or maybe you can, learn how to do roofing, and you'll have a job forever. You see, our entire collegiate atmosphere, system, is completely effed in today's day and age. You just can't do it. People are taking curriculum, having fun in college, getting degrees, which mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you should have an idea what you're going to do and what you can make in that job. How much are you going to make as an XYZ? You're not going to be, if you go to get a car, or I go to get a car, or a house, they say, okay, you want this house that costs $700,000. In order to get this house for $700,000, you got to have this credit score, you got to have this much down, and then you have to show us that you can afford to make this monthly payment. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say your debt to income ratio, blah, 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 everything. Why should we do that with a college loan? Hey, listen, you want to take basket studies, and the average basket person makes $30,000 a year. So we can't give you a loan. You don't qualify for a loan in basket studies. Well, what can I get a loan in? You can get a loan in, HVAC repair. We'll help you. Well, where do I go for that? Vocational School of Detroit. Oh, so I don't get to come to University of Michigan? No, you got to go to the Vocational School of Detroit. They'll show you how to be an HVAC technician, and you'll have a job for life, and you can afford to make the payments. But right now, universities are stroking checks for hundreds of thousands of dollars for kids who will have no ability to make the payments. It's insane. You can't do that with any other aspect of your life. You can't buy a house. You can't buy a car. You can't even, get financing for a new roof. You can't do anything unless you can prove that you're going to have the income to pay it back. Why does college not have any substantive idea as to what you're going to make in the future? Just saying.
Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country. So,
yeah, that, again, here he comes with some more sphincter tightening right there. We're going to seize your endowment, Harvard. Woo.
Badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
Yeah, this man ain't playing. This man is not playing. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Good idea, Barry. Yeah, make them. You got to qualify for everything else. Why not? You know what I mean? A new roof on my garage costs $10,000. And basically, if you wanted to get that roof, you were either going to stroke a check for $10,000 or you're going to finance it. And either way, you had to show you had the wherewithal to pay it. I think that Biden is going to resign so Harris can use 24th Amendment. Yeah, again, that's been going around. He doesn't seem like he's playing ball at all with her. Not at all. $30,000. What's this say? $30,000 schooling graduate, and your job gets paid $15 or $16 an hour. Doesn't make any sense. And you're paying for it, and I'm paying for it. You know, I'm all for people who tax college endowments 40%. I'm all for people going to school and taking whatever major you want, but don't borrow the money if you know you don't have the ability to pay it back. Just like any other loan. Sanctuary cities are aiding and abetting criminals. Yeah, I believe with that. All right, so you make me laugh there. Yeah, because some of this stuff is so elementary. And it drives you crazy when you think about it and say, this is pretty, as Trump has said over and over, common sense. Just do things with common sense, man. Let me do some super chats so we can get out of here, because then I have to walk the dog, feed the dog, and get back in here for the 7 o'clock show. We're already at 5 o'clock. Woo, okay. From Michael B. Nace, Trump will get Rick Scott. He can always audit the McConnells and other Reiners. I believe that too. Linda Thornburg, thank you very much. Debbie Elazar, thank you very much. Fernando, how are you doing, brother? Fernando Cardones, I hereby declare Mitch McConnell persona non grata, an enemy of we the people. Yeah, the gig is up for these people, man. They gotta go. Frankie Lowe, all patriots should take this win to the next level. We should switch our internet providers to Starlink so we stop funding companies that hate us, like Comcast and AT&T. Good. I like that. RBI Sports, very good briefing today. You can also inform the members about the critical path method, which all of us business guys still use to include our president. Critical, very much so. May Ferris, thank you very much. This is from Sue Rabin. Why does FEMA have 350 semi-trucks in Michigan at an old Air Force base? Good question. Good question. People are going to dig in. I think we're going to see a lot of things happening in the next 60, 70 days before we get to election. They're going to have to explain a whole lot. Tania says the cackling hyenas on a view need to stop with this. It's dangerous and beyond annoying. They need to accept they lost. They can't. And their livelihoods are tied to that loss, as I explained. To all our veterans, thank you. God bless you. Absolutely. Very, very, very strong day that America doesn't really celebrate the way I think it should be. Thanks for all you do, Barry. Thank you very much, Jerome. Let me go down here. From Ward. Okay, Ward. FTUC. Happy Memorial and Remembrance Day to both American and Canadian citizens. Love it. Trump is TCB already, Barry. LFG, God watch over POTUS. That's the thing. We got to get him to the office. Somebody had said he's going to go meet Biden on Wednesday, and they're like, don't drink anything and don't eat anything. And I'm like, don't even touch anything. Wear gloves, don't you? Just because who knows what these people would try. So that's Ward Funk, Happy Veterans and Remembrance Day. No problem. Where was something I saw? I skipped by mistake. This is from B. Mark. Give 1,000 to 5,000 to find. Oh yeah, if they start putting out rewards for people, hey man, can you call in and let us know where this person is? Oh yeah. Sarah Kate, Barry, Western North Carolina and Tennessee still needs help. Make sure you read my email. I will, for sure. By the way, I should have the final numbers from everything that was going up to Samaritan's Purse, but you guys did fantastic. Mark, thank you. Westby Play and hope we buy Greenland, either for financial expansion or a turn to a maximum security prison. Yeah, there's been talk about Greenland being for sale. I can't even imagine that. Oh my, I overheard a conversation where two women were talking about how slow people in the South are. That's still going on. Still going on. I remember when I first came down here, people thought that. This is from Harriet. They are going to leave really fast when the money is cut off. It might make sense for them to do it now. They will gather in a few houses. Yeah, I believe that. Larry 1754. I do like that floating policy. Let me go down here to GD Biddy. GD Biddy says government needs to charge attorney fees for criminals, land and asset seizures to pay back the people. Yeah, got to pay. Somehow we got to get the money back, recoup all this stuff. If the president appoints people without approval, then he is no better than the Dems at ignoring the Constitution. Wrong. You see, certain positions require approval. The Border Czar is not one of them. And whatever, Elise Stefanik doesn't require approval. That is constitutional. You see, that's where the difference is. Those are constitutional. Just to let you know. Let me just go to the next page. Looking here from Just Another Knucklehead. Hey, brother. I saw on Stephen Gardner Newsflash, Texas is auditing every ballot cast in 2024. People casting their fraudulent ballot go to jail. I think there's going to be wait till you see what happens in Arizona. Yeah, absolutely. Super chat, Despina, Andrulis, The Untouchables. Great movie, by the way. Too bad it's got De Niro, so I won't watch it again. Lynn Morang, Barry, check out Wifema. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. $2 from Big Cat. Big Cat, thank you. I'm sure the Kamala rally buses are up for hire. And the planes as well. Wonder who was getting those plane trips. Elena Akanili, we appreciate all you do, Barry, Robin, Ashley, and Mods. Thank you very much. And I think, okay, well, I got two more here to read, and I go back to the top. Actually, this is the last one. Maria Brindley, thank you very for all you do. You're the best. God bless you and your family. Thank you very much. All right, so let me just check the front again. There's one from Claudette Bailey. I served for the love of God and my country. She must be a vet. Congrats. Super chat from Peter Ulrich. Show no mercy. They wouldn't. No, not at all. They would not be showing us any mercy. And I believe this is the last one from Just Another Knucklehead. Again, get in the books and study instead of protesting, panty raids, burning flags, egging on Hebrew students. Essentially study. Yeah, I mean, just do your work, man. Do your work. All right, everybody. If you'd like to, what I want to encourage you to do is jump into our private X group. And our private X group is, you can get to that by just going to fanfareshop.org/group. It's a URL that will just take you right to the private X group. It's free, and there's over 9,000 fellow patriots in there right now. So do that. By the way, tonight at 7 o'clock, which may turn into 7:30 at this point because it's already so late, we're going to be giving away a couple hoodies. So if you have not as of yet, enter to win by going to fanfareshop.org. I'm going to make it 7:30. Let's just call it 7:30 at this point because it's already 5:10 and I got to do some things with the dog and stuff. So thank you very, very much for tuning in to the 3 o'clock show. Thank you guys for staying. About to run the outro, and it has some flashy lights, so if you're susceptible to any type of seizures, don't watch. Otherwise, I'll see you at 7:30.